run.
Oh, I messed up.
34 seconds if you do DOH.
Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
Three, two, one. Good evening. Welcome in TNCradio.live. This is Driver Nation. We're live to you on a Friday night. I'm Tom. He's Gary. He's Steve. We're going to be here with you for the next couple of hours talking all things in the gig economy. And unfortunately, one of us isn't going to stay and play the whole time.
Wait, we're both leaving early?
Yeah.
No.
We're leaving and Steve's going to take care of it. Wait a minute. No,
Bud Soda's going to come. He's right there. He's going to come in the second hour.
Hey, Gary, do you remember the movie Ghost?
Well, the one with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah. Remember the light? Remember the light would shine in and be like, "Don't go in. Yeah. Go into the light, Steve. Steve, go into the light. It's safe. It's okay. Go in, Steve. It's okay."
It's the sunlight coming down. Yeah, it's a filter.
It's his big filter.
it's my heaven filter.
Yeah. So, Steve, you got to leave early because you're going to go do something cool, right?
I'm going to go do something cool. It's absolutely going to be a lot of work. And I think that it's even going to be more work than I'm expecting because it's been a minute since I've done some production work, but also I know when you have special guests, it becomes a very tight ship in the production world. These amount of special guests is just ridiculous. I mean, so what I'm going to do is in about, it's 5:07 here, but about 8:50 this evening, if everything's on time, I will be flying to Los Angeles, and I will be doing Saturday and Sundays Long Story Short at the Hollywood Bowl. For those that don't know what Long Story Short is, it's the name that Willie Nelson gave to these two shows, as they are the only two celebration shows of his 90th birthday. It's not a tour. These are just, he might be on tour, and I know he's got some shows coming up, but this is a special event, breaking away from the tour to specifically be in Hollywood. I know on Sunday is his actual birthday. That's the day he turns 90. But just to kind of real quickly, I'll run down the guests for you guys because it'll only take me a second, and it's amazing. It's crazy.
Oh, and he already told me he's not getting us pictures, people. I already asked.
Well, I'll be able to get production pictures and stuff from other people that you just have to have a camera pass, and then whichever's discarded after a bit, it should be fine. But Willie Nelson, obviously, Allison Russell, Beck, Billy Strings, Bob Weir, Charlie Crockett, Chris Stapleton, Edie Burkell, Leon Bridges, Lucas Nelson, Lyle Lovett, Margot Price, Miranda Lambert, Nathaniel Ratliff, Neil Young, Nora Jones, Orville Peck, Particle Kid, Roseanne Cash, Sheryl Crow, Snoop Dogg, Sturgill Simpson, the Abbott Brothers, the Chicks, the Lumineers, Tom Jones, Tyler Childers, Warren Haynes, and Ziggy Marley.
Wow.
You can't find something in that you don't. If you can't find something in there you don't like, I don't know. You probably just don't like music, I guess. Right. So I guess my point is, even if you're not the biggest Willie Nelson fan, like if you paid attention to that list, you can hear that the respect of the people who are coming out for this.
Yeah.
Neil Young alone could sell out 10 nights at the Hollywood Bowl in a row.
So is this will be online? Will it be on TV? Is there any way to watch this?
Yeah, you might want to try nugs.net, and I'll send anything over to Gary. He can kind of share it out.
Okay.
Through Instagram or a post, or he can text it to you or whatever. But can
you just like set up a camera and just let us watch?
Yeah. Yeah, like Gary was saying,
I can start a StreamYard and you can just join it.
And I'll prop it somewhere.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Right where all the bands are hanging out, like on a stack or something. Kind of just mesh it in.
Yeah, nobody would care.
But yeah, you guys, if you're not familiar, usually at production of any big size, and especially when you're working with these littler, cooler, 100-year-old venues, you're in all black. I'll be in all black clothing. I won't like when we're doing setup and stuff. I'll be in a laser production shirt, but I'll be in all black. And I'll be. You can have your 2 radios, because I'll have one for laser, and then I'll have one for the staging crew. But you can't have you can't be grabbing for your camera, even if you're not taking pictures. If they see you doing that, and even if it's not on your time card of anything that you have coming up in the next few minutes, it's still a no-no. They don't want anybody around a production looking like they're just like, okay, I'm checking my social media.
Damn paparazzi.
But then on top of that, obviously shooting pictures and videos is completely not okay, because they have professional photographers that come in and stuff for any event, really. And even like photographers need the photo pass, and most of them only get like a front for any given show, get a front row pass for, the first 30 minutes of a concert. They can be up there shooting like right in front of the stage, and then they're kind of moved out. So it's a hard system to try and squeak. And with all these guests, the last thing I want to do is get kicked out for trying to shoot some video.
They're gonna kick out the laser guy. Oh, sorry, folks. We was gonna have lasers, but Steve couldn't act right, so we had to.
Right, Willie comes over with a big fatty in his mouth. He's like, "What the hell are you doing? Record my shit? Get the fuck!
Get the heck out of here!"
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
What did I say? Heck?
F.
Yeah. Let's say he said heck. We're gonna go with that.
Ooh. Yeah. So
I'm looking on Nugs, and they don't have it listed here on there. So
no, I mean it. It's okay if you go to blackbirdpresents.com, Gary. That's the website that if it might have some information on it, because that's the website about this, or at least they have a whole lot on there. So what's up, Gigan? What's up, Tommy? Haven't seen you in a minute. What's up, Light? Hey, Bud Soda. Hi, Kevin Hawthorne. How's Florida? You're not in the killer, the death part of Florida, are you? Is Lakeland is it in the kill driver zone, Gary?
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Is it?
You're talking about off I-4?
I don't know. Just the last week, all these drivers we talked about who have been killed.
Oh, it's inland.
Oh, it is.
I-4 moving.
And hi, Marissa. How are you? So, be careful out there. Be careful out there, everybody. Be careful out there, Kevin. State's going crazy, dude.
It's all the transplants is what it is, as I pointed out last night.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess what I was trying to get at last night, because Tom, what we were talking about was, I don't know if you saw this, but so just by the story, these are all in the last week. These story headlines out of South Florida. So Florida couple delivering Instacart groceries shot at after driving to wrong address. Florida DoorDash driver kidnapped and sexually assaulted during delivery. Florida man charged with killing and dismembering an Uber Eats driver is what is being called a demonic crime.
What?
Not kidding, dude. Like, we talked about the exact details last night, and the food was left outside. When it was left, the door opened and he pulled him in even.
Bizarre.
But it's a gnarly story, dude. I mean, he really did truly dismember this person.
I don't think, before we move on from this Willie Nelson thing, I don't think they're going to live stream it because they're selling tickets to it.
Oh, yeah. And the
what do you
tickets
mean?
are very expensive.
Oh, dude, the tickets, even if it says tickets for sale, if you click that, go look at what the tickets in the front boxes are.
Yeah, $2,400.
Yeah,
that's to get in the door, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to sit up front, it's about 17,000 a night.
No, that's what I just showed on Ticketmaster here.
Right, but I'm telling you that, like, if you go through, it's sold out, but you're getting a resale ticket. Clearly, that's not a Willie Nelson Ticketmaster.
Because where's the stage? Okay, stage is right here. It says Circle Pool.
Yep. Because I had it pulled up the other night.
5,500.
Right. If you look, dude, it goes up to, I don't know, maybe they're gone, but some of the best seats in the house were being sold at 17 grand a night.
Oh, I'm sure they probably was. Right now, though, they're about 5 grand.
There's probably, yeah, but see, there's probably becoming less available.
Yeah.
So, again, though, I mean, even 5 grand, guys, come on, 10 grand to go to 2 concerts.
That's like going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's like your total bill for the Super Bowl, including hotel, party, and everything. I mean, and that won't even cover. That's just to go to the show. So, but I mean, like, I know that when tickets went on sale, they were like $180 plus Ticketmaster fees. That's what the cost was. These are just all resales. So it wasn't like he made it this elitist thing where, like, you have to have 5 grand to be able to go.
Yeah, right.
All the scalpers made it an elitist thing.
Well, yeah, because I mean, again, guys, it's not a tour, and if the special guests I just named, those are all happening over a 2-day period. So, but I'm excited. We said it backstage, but I'll say it out here again. That Gary actually asked me, like, he was like, "You even remember how to work lasers? You be able to do this?"
And he said it's like riding a bike. And I was like, yeah, if you don't ride a bike for 3 years, you get on, you're going to fall off.
Yeah,
see, I don't agree with that. I don't. That is a good saying. It's like riding a bike, because
that's not a good saying, because there's people that forget how to ride bikes all the time.
Where? I've never met somebody who's like, God, I used to do this all the time. I don't remember.
Look at Tom there. He's saying
I got on a bike about 10 years ago after not being on a bike for about 30 years. And yeah, it was disastrous. It was bad.
Know what? Whenever I come up there in July, we're going to find a bicycle and we'll have the adults all get on and pedal it and see how well they all do.
I mean, like, I guess I just use my bike I don't use it as much as I used to, but I still jump on it here and there because Max bikes a lot. But I don't know. I just can't even imagine forgetting that. You just sit on the seat and you go, oh yeah, you just pedal.
Yeah, but it's like a balancing thing. Most people are still used sitting in a car. You know?
Wait, what is this? Pete Beckett. Oh, is that
Peter Beckett?
Hey, Peter, what's up, man? How you doing? Quit asking me to do. I don't know what I'm asking you to do. But he's on the Facebook side too, and I believe that's a friend of mine. So quit asking me to do. Huh. All right.
Okay.
I don't think I have been, but it's done. I won't ask.
Don't
quit asking.
Yeah. That's it anymore.
But yeah, so
it sounds like a great experience. We're looking forward to hearing from you, telling us all about it. But that means you've got to leave a little bit early tonight. Yes.
Top of the hour. It's been a long time since I've flown.
Yeah.
Not just the production work either, but I it was weird to me because when I was thinking about it, like I just drove to Vegas and back, but I haven't flown. I was trying to think, like, I don't even know if I've flown since before the pandemic.
Do you remember how to fly?
Yep. You sit down. I mean, man, you guys, so one thing for sure about me is that I'm not just somebody who's flown a couple times. I've flown around the globe many times doing production. So it's only strange to me. I haven't flown in 3 years. That's what's crazy.
What was funny is, Tom, he sent me the pictures of the event, and then he sent me pictures of his plane tickets. And I right off the bat go, these are 2 different dates.
Well, they were the same dates, wrong month.
That's 2 different dates though.
Right, but that's why it got past me, and I was like, wait a minute. And so I was like going back into the email because I was trying to, because actually what I was trying to do in the beginning was stay an extra day because I wanted to meet up with Sergio and John McCallion and Harry and, and just kind of see if I couldn't get a lunch together or whatever with a couple people. But so I was going to, because she wouldn't care if it didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like the office manager who helps book all this stuff, she wouldn't care if I stayed the extra day because they're not going to pay for a hotel or anything. I would have to.
Right.
So, I mean, if I stay one extra day, she would still pay the return flight home. In fact, she'd probably save money because it would be a Tuesday.
Right.
So, I mean, but she booked it. And then Gary said that. And I was like, oh, cool. Because I was like, damn it, she booked it. And I didn't want to come back Monday. And then, so I tried to get back to her real quick. And as soon as I opened the email after he told me, she had already sent the other one through. And she's like, sorry, I got something wrong there. Here's everything. It's booked. It's done. I'm like, shit. It was like the same times.
Oh, well.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I was going to say, like, what good am I going to be on Monday anyway? Because I mean, if anybody's ever worked production before, first of all,
weekend.
I'm just saying, after you work 18-hour production days back to back, load in, load out, do the show, setting up everything, getting everything perfect, working with all the crews, 18-hour days are pretty brutal. You feel pretty beat up. And so, yeah, I'm kind of expecting to just come back and like crash.
And be high, because it is Willie Nelson concert.
You're saying I can't even be it. Yeah, it's like, dude, Snoop Dogg will be on the backside of the stage, Willie's up front. All of a sudden, even if you don't try, man.
If you don't try, you're gonna be. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna get a gas mask.
Yeah.
I should get, and then paint it like the Rideshare Rodeo one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
No, there's a lot of other musicians here too. I got to tell you guys, oddly, on this list, two people, I've met a ton of musicians working a lot of different things, but two people I'm very excited to meet. And so my list of the top 3 female artists I've ever worked with are, I guess, let me put them in order here too. In number 3, and I just mean like popularity and also like what I learned about them being on tour, is Shania Twain. Number 2, I would say Sade. And number 1, hands down, best ever, Aretha Franklin.
Wow.
So I'm really looking forward to meeting Norah Jones. I don't know if that, to some people, it might be like, why? Because I think she's been an amazing musician, and I'm looking forward to meeting her. But more than anybody, and I've never met him, I'm looking forward to meeting Neil Young.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I've been a fan of Neil's for ever, my whole life, basically. And yeah, no joke, my whole life.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm very much looking forward to meeting Neil.
Cool. Yeah, Norah Jones could be interesting, but Neil Young, yeah, that would be.
Well, see, I got the line for Norah Jones though. Has everybody seen Ted?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how when he takes.
Yeah.
Remember how when he goes to the band shell in New York, it's Norah Jones playing at the end, and Marky Mark is backstage with Norah Jones and Ted, and Ted's talking about when he used to bang her. And she's like going with it. She's like hilarious too. She's like, "Oh, Ted, we've been over for a long." Like she's playing into this. I just want to go up to her, even though I love her music, and I want to, because I like her songwriting. I'm not gonna sit down and listen to albums of hers on end. I think she's a very talented person. So I want to go up to her and I want to say, I've been a fan ever since Ted.
Since you were hanging out with Ted, yeah.
And you guys, if you wonder, like if I do that in real life, I really do. I try and be interesting when I meet somebody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know it seems like, would you really say that? I really would. I try and be a little clever. Like with Neil, I'll probably just be jaw to the ground and be like, "You're Neil Young."
Yeah.
He's gonna look at Steve and go, "You're not young."
Yeah.
Well, he ain't young either, dude.
No, he ain't.
That'll be my joke. If he says that, man, see, again, I can love the guy, but he'll hear an earful. If he's like, "You're not young," I'll be like, coming from, wow. It's okay. But I have mad respect for Neil Young too, because I have done things with the Bridge School before, which is where his autistic son goes. And for those that don't know, when Lionel was having a ton of trouble, Neil wanted to create a train set for autistic kids with Lionel. He did. Neil Young ended up buying Lionel.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, or at least he's like a huge part. Like he bailed him out. He owns if not the whole thing, he owns a big portion of the company now. But yeah, the Bridge School benefit goes on every year. It's been happening for about 30 years, which I guess would probably be about the age of his son. His son goes to the Bridge School, and that's always kind of like one of these events. You'll see like Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam and like Nirvana back in the day, and they'd all come down for this event.
Huh.
And yeah. But so that, that's something with Neil too, is, where's my free Lionel? Send me a Lionel train.
Let's see. He's not anymore. He was part owner of Lionel Trains. Neil became instrumental trains, has possibility of being therapeutic for his two sons who have cerebral palsy.
Sorry.
Into the company. Neil's now selling off his Lionel model train collection to raise money for the Bridge School in San Francisco, which helps children and young adults with severe physical and learning disabilities. It doesn't say what he did with his Lionel stock.
Basically, Neil has been almost the supporter of that Bridge School too. If you guys look into it, it's quite a thing. Like it's. I know there's things like this all over the country, but the Bridge School is really something unique. And I know they kind of go over the top with like how far they'll go, but is there over the top when you're dealing with that? So,
right, no.
And I know that's how Neil at Shoreline. If you guys have never heard of the Shoreline Pavilion, it's right outside of Palo Alto, south of San Francisco. It's actually built on an old. It's built on a garbage land, on a landfill, and the lawn is a landfill. But the first 30 rows, the best seats in the house are always reserved for the Bridge School teachers and students for that show.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. So
very cool. Hey, I got to take a break on the radio side, so we're going to do that. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. For those of you on the radio side, well, I'll explain when we come back. You're listening to TNCradio.live. Stay tuned. Never did tell the radio side about YouTube stuff.
Oh. You also didn't call me white this week, which I appreciate. White. Steve is white.
What?
Are you not?
That's what you did last week.
I don't
recall. When we were doing the words.
Oh, yeah.
Give away words. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I sent it to Gary right to the queued up point. I'm like, watch it from here, dude.
Yeah, I was just messing.
Oh, no, because I said white people, right?
Right.
The whole thing. No, but you were having trouble composing yourself after you were laughing so hard.
I was. Yeah,
because you were using, the thing was you were using me in all of them. You were like,
right.
What was it, upstream or stream? You're like, Steve is going upstream.
Steve swims upstream. It's the 28th.
He's laughing again.
I can't use you as an example today. I can't.
He's Gary. Use Bud Soda.
Okay.
He killed a deer in his car.
Again.
Really?
Deer killer.
Deer killer. Yeah.
I've done that before.
Did you see Roy's post about that?
No.
It is funny. You should have told me you were leaving early tonight. I could have read some of these stories.
Well, you still can when I leave.
I've read them all. I'm ready to
Okay.
discuss whatever you guys want to discuss.
Oh, good. See, at least Tom's prepared.
Hey, man. You don't know how stressed. I had to pick up Max from school, drive him up to Boulder to my mom's, haul ass back here, and I've been packing, getting stuff ready. It's been crazy. The only thing I didn't get done that I will need to find either, and I might even just do it in the airport. I don't know if I can find a quiet spot or something, but otherwise maybe late tonight. But I did not record 13 minutes.
Uh-oh.
And before my head hits the pillow tonight, it has to be recorded and scheduled, or else it won't happen.
You're going to miss it.
I won't. Will you be proud of me if I make it?
What if we did it right now?
No.
What if we did it right now? We come back.
Well, I'm not ready.
What do you mean you're not ready? Come on. I'm ready.
I'm not, dude. For 13 minutes, I'd try and really.
Is it a direct flight?
Yeah, of course.
No.
I don't screw around, dude. I mean, unless it's something that requires a layover. See, from where I am, really anything in the country better be a direct flight because I'm in the middle of the country.
But if TSA puts it together that Steve's going from Colorado to a Willie Nelson concert, they're going to be checking every single pocket.
You know what the weird thing is? I'm going from a legal state to a legal state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still can't take anything on the plane.
And you know that old thing about, you can, I don't know if you know this too, Gary, but whatever, you can be charged with drug transportation or felony charges or whatever. If you take a plane, every state you go over, you can be charged by. But here's the thing. I'm in Colorado, going over Nevada to California. They're all legal.
Yeah, just not federally.
Okay, what are you going to charge me with? If I filled my whole bag up with it, what are you going to charge me with?
It's still a federal crime, and flying is federal.
Then I'd say, shit, didn't think of that.
All right, coming back in 5 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCradio.live. It's a Friday night. That means it's Driver Nation time, and that also means that we are simulcasting on YouTube right now. You can watch us and see our smiling faces. Well, you can't see Steve's face right now because he's got the sunshine on his shoulder there. Yeah, so he's kind of messed up. But you can see Gary and I for the next hour and a half, talking to you about all things regarding the gig economy. Steve's fixing to head out here in the next half hour to go catch a plane where he will be arrested for. Now, Gary's added his light too, and I've got my light already on.
Look at my God filter.
Old 3. Okay. All right.
This is what it this is what it'll look like backstage at the Willie Nelson concert.
More smoke though. More smoke.
Yeah. No, that's about what it'll be.
Dude, if I even see a smoke machine, I literally, no joke, will say to the person, I will say, "Are you kidding? Not going to need that, buddy."
Not for this concert. No.
Yeah.
You're going to be so high.
Thanks, Tom.
You
know what? They kind of count on us people working not to get off the chain or anything.
You're going to wear a gas mask?
I don't know. I'll be fine. Yeah. Man, I've done the raves in like warehouses in Miami when I was down there. And I know that they like the more, yeah, I know that they like the more like designer drugs, but at the same time, there was almost like hardcore drugs that they'd smoke near the laser tower sometimes. So I'm used to it.
Okay. You built up a tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I just say, no, don't affect me.
No, that's right. So let's see. There were a bunch of whose cars? Oh, Waymo explains why its self-driving cars all stopped driving on a Phoenix street. I love the title of this article because they don't explain it.
I know. Clickbait.
They say
Yeah.
sometimes stuff happens.
Yep.
Sometimes
we kill people.
Vehicles will pull over or come to a stop if it's assessed that it's the safest course of action. And that's what happened here.
Yep.
That does not explain why they all stopped.
It just says it's clearly a glitch in the system. Really?
Yeah. Okay. So how comfortable are you, Gary, as a software guy, with the sentence, "We have identified the software that contributed to this situation and made appropriate updates across our fleet"?
Okay, that didn't tell me anything.
No, I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
Think they got hacked?
It could be. I think there's more to this story that just doesn't make any sense. I understand reading, what happened out in San Francisco when the fog rolled in and the LiDAR went, I don't have any clue where I am, and shut down I get that. But for all of these things to just come to a stop because they thought there was a safety issue, that does.
Can I sprinkle? Let me sprinkle a little something on here that might add to. And again, we can't. This is just an opinion, but the driver of the autonomous vehicle that killed a person 5 years ago, in Arizona, they've been fighting where that trial will be. It can't be in Maricopa County, which is all of Phoenix, so they had to push it to the neighboring county. And it's kind of this whole thing because it's a lot of Indian reservation thing, and it's this whole like cluster about this. And now after all these years, the driver will begin her trial in June.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to talk about that, and during one of our shows earlier this week, I was telling there was a conversation about autonomous trucks and California's new law that they're trying to pass that will require a driver in any vehicle over 40,000 pounds. In other words, all semi trucks would have to have a driver in there, which was kind of an interesting conversation by itself. But I pointed out to them that every truck driver who's going to be involved in any kind of testing of any of this stuff, and drivers are constantly being barraged, will you test this system? Will you test that? I said, you need to watch what happens to her first. Because she's already spent time in jail, and she may end up going to jail for a very long time. And you need to understand that if you're sitting in the driver's seat and something goes wrong with one of these tests that you're doing, nobody's going to jail but you. Nobody.
I mean, would all of us not kill to be a fly on the wall of her being actually hired into this? So I would like to hear how they pitched her, how they sold it. Were they very clear? Did she have an attorney present to understand any language? Like, hey, by the way, if this death trap, which doesn't work, by the way, if this thing kills anybody, it's on you.
Yeah, Steve, here's the thing. They won't even be able to bring that up at trial because they've already dropped all the others that she's so it will only be about what she was or was not doing at the time of the accident. And they've got her on video sitting right there looking at the voice. It's, we've all seen the video by now.
Yeah. Well, she claims something. She claims she's looking at the Uber screen, and she does say the voice was going. It's in the passenger seat. Here's my thing though, too, Tom. Like, I said this to Gary last night. Like, why on earth wouldn't they take her cell phone from her? Well, why would they allow her to have any distraction, or even like say, by the way, if she does, at least like, hey, by the way, you can't have a cell phone.
But them not doing that, doesn't that tell you that they believed that her distraction was not important? I don't understand why the judges have knocked everybody else out and said, no, the only person on trial here is her.
Well, because as Gary pointed out last night, Uber paid him.
Well, that ain't what I pointed out last night. I pointed out last night that
they
a robot cannot be responsible for a death.
Here's the thing. So, okay, let's say that the voice was on the thing and she's listening to it. Okay. Let's just give her that benefit of the doubt. And let's say she is looking at the screen like she's supposed to, like we were talking about, right? That maybe she was watching the right screen. Okay. Well, if she doesn't know what to do, and even with basic training, like, let's be honest, guys, we damn well know why they put her in the car, to have a scapegoat, because if they didn't have her in there, like Gary just said, who do you charge? And that is one of my biggest problems with all this autonomous crap. Because the one in San Francisco, they don't have drivers.
Right.
So if a cruise clips me, who am I suing? The company?
You can only sue the company, but there can't be legal charges brought against a robot.
I guess what
I agree that I agree with you, Gary, to a certain extent. Okay, if I build a drone, I have a drone. Okay, so if I take my drone right now and put it in the air, and then I quit operating it for whatever reason, and it crashes and hits somebody, it's still on me.
Yes and no.
No, it's still on me.
If he takes a drone and flies it into somebody's face,
if you build an AI built drone, put it in the air, and the drone is operating itself, and you have the correct licenses for your state, and that drone hits somebody, it is considered an accident. If you manually take that drone up and leave it up in the air,
I disagree, Gary.
Well, you can disagree, but that's how the law interprets this stuff.
Not in every state.
Pretty much almost all of them. No. A robot cannot.
But then that doesn't make sense. You would literally kill people you don't like with drones.
Sure, why not?
Well,
because you wouldn't face a charge for it.
Yeah, you would. If you built a drone without getting proper licensing and everything, just set it free, yeah, you're responsible. But if you're doing AI work and the car, in this case, ran somebody over, it's not the technician's fault.
But here's my thing is that most people haven't signed off on the fact that they are okay being on the roads with IR cars. And this is why I've brought up the insurance thing before, because who's going to insure these things?
You got to think, we're talking criminal charges here, not lawsuits, not financial
I understand.
Damage. We're talking about criminally. Our laws,
to me, it's a criminal charge to put a car that absolutely does not perform even above 80% functionality, has tons of issues, and to put that on the road, there has to be somebody liable. There has to be.
Well, there is financially, but not criminally.
I don't even get that. I mean, you're a criminal to put that thing out on the road.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you how the current law is set up. It's not set up for a robot murdering a person. It's just not.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess the only reason I might even say,
because here's the thing. Like, let's break it down. Like, if you had to charge somebody in this case, who would you charge?
I'm not saying I even know, Gary. I'm just saying that there has to be.
Right. And that's where our system's at too. They don't know if they should be charging the engineers. They don't know if they should be charging the software people, the hardware people, the people that actually put the car together.
Well, let's be honest too. Only 2 cities in the U.S. have self-driving cars: San Francisco and Phoenix. So, like, is every other city just not ready? Because there are a lot of cities who would like to see it as well. And you get kickbacks from the company and all this and that. So there's only 2 cities they're operating in. I have a feeling that they're just kind of doing it with some government wink wink approval type stuff. Like, I'm not really sure what you guys are doing, but be safe.
That's probably true. I'm not defending them. I'm just telling you how it's currently set up.
I know. It's just
the legal
like
system
this
doesn't
is even
know
more
who to charge.
ammo for me. It's
the legal system just doesn't know who to charge. So that way, with this lady being inside the vehicle, they're making her responsible because who was the car? Who owned it? Was it Uber at the time?
Well, it was an Uber that in Maricopa, yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's an Uber car, so they don't know who they should charge
with Waymo technology.
Right. I was going to say it's Waymo.
Well,
so
it was when Uber and Waymo were only working together. They didn't. Uber wasn't with Motional and Aptiv and other. They were just working with Waymo.
right.
in
And so
2017.
I can guarantee you, or I can almost guarantee you that when they discussed criminal charges here, they're like, well, who do we charge at Uber and who do we charge at Waymo? And they're like, well, we don't know. So the only logical explanation would be the lady that was in the car.
Yeah, I mean, but that's literally why they threw her in there at $22 an hour.
I know it sucks. I mean,
and now she's being sued for what? I can't remember.
Being sued, she's being criminally charged.
But she's also like, right? Yeah, yeah.
Already been done. Uber already paid that out.
So the civil stuff is going to be very different, though. I think that criminally, I get the argument. I don't believe that it's going to be as clear across every state as this judge made it out to be. But from a civil standpoint and having to pay for this, dig deep, Waymo and Uber, you're going to be paying big time on this.
So look at okay, so she gets hit, and Maricopa County, like even John is kind of reconfirmed, Dash Theory TV. He's reconfirmed how big that is. It covers Tempe, Phoenix, the whole metro area. Right. Next to it is this sliver of a county that has like next to no population. Can anybody tell me why because they never do this, why they moved her trial over to there? Because in my opinion, she would have had a much more fair trial in Maricopa County, because people would be like, yeah, I hate those damn machines. Because we know people drop rocks on them. They hate them. They're sick of them. And they would probably go, dude, she's not at fault. These stupid cars are.
Right. And then, of course, the company is going to come back and say, well, under our best intention, we program these to not run over humans.
Well, under your best intention, it runs at 68% functionality, which is a D+ at best. So
they're going to say that's still passing. That's what they're going to say.
Sorry. Okay. An F-.
Yeah.
They're running at F- mode. I'm just saying, there's got to the answer.
I know. I could tell you right now.
I don't know, man.
If I was on that jury to convict this lady of murder, there's no way I could do it.
Not a chance.
Not a chance on me.
I don't even care if every other single moron was like, dude, I'll end you after this. Just you gotta side with us, and I'm the holdout. I'd be like, no, dude, I'm literally gonna kick my feet up and put my fingers up at you for even thinking she should be guilty. I mean, was she being paid $1 million a minute and understood the risk? No, she's being paid $22 an hour.
But remember, she's being accused of negligent homicide.
Right. Yeah. I don't think she was negligent on anything. I mean, no more than the car itself.
I even blame the car. I mean, I don't blame her. Even if I so wish she didn't have the damn phone, because I feel like that's where they got her, kind of thing. Yeah. But yet, I guarantee. Here's what I will say about the phone. Let's say she's watching it. Let's say it is sitting on the seat. I guarantee you guys that for hours they were watching her using her phone. It wasn't until she hit somebody that they cared.
But remember, too, the somebody that got hit was not in the crosswalk.
No, but that doesn't make it okay. I mean,
but when you're looking,
it was night. It was crossing. Yeah,
there are other factors in here too that have to go into the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I mean, Tom, do you know why they would illegally move a trial to another county? You're not even supposed to be able to do that.
Well, you do that when you believe that she can't get a fair trial in the county.
Right, but I believe she'd get more than a fair trial because Maricopa hates it.
Her lawyer disagreed.
Well, it's not only that, but it could be the DA too that wanted to move
I thought that, that's what I thought it was, is that they moved it. I thought her lawyer wanted it in Maricopa.
Yeah. I believe if either side thinks that it's going to be unfair trial, though, they can move it.
Either side?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, then that gives her a very easy course for
a mistrial.
Or to get the whole thing overturned.
I mean, can you imagine though? Like this lady had a couple of kids, right? And she's she did this for $22 an hour. It's been going on for years. Now the court case finally begins. How much is she spent in legal fees?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where did she get it?
Was helping her out.
But where is she getting it? Because I mean, like that's 5.5 years of legal fees. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not at all.
For people who just know that lawyers are expensive, I'll tell you that kind of time is not cheap. That's like having it on retainer. You better be a billionaire.
Now, do you think if a regular person in a car would have hit and killed this person, they would have been charged just as bad?
With negligent? No.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you get charged with. If you hit and kill somebody, you get charged with negligent homicide. If you're drunk, you could be charged with driving while intoxicated plus felony homicide.
Isn't there something under negligent though that like accidental homicide? And I know that's not right, but like something that's
right. Because negligence means that you failed to act.
Right. Like what if somebody like was at a bus stop and and just wanted to commit suicide and jumped out in front of my car at the last minute? That's not negligent. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you call it. But I don't think you'd be charged with negligent. Like if you had dash cam footage of it and stuff too, like how are they going to get you with negligent if somebody like just jumps in front of you?
Are we thinking manslaughter maybe?
I don't know. I'm just thinking there has to be something less.
Negligent in the state of Arizona, manslaughter and negligent homicide are essentially the same charge.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
There's something called accidental homicide. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, see, I thought there was like, because there are times when...
Okay, but accidental homicide would be completely... That's... You're
like
driving down the road. You're driving down the road and you sneeze and you accidentally run over somebody. It's a different thing.
I mean, not really, though. I mean, it's dark out, no street lights. Somebody crosses in front of your car last second, you hit them. It's accidental.
That's accidental, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what happened here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't see, I'm with Gary on that, on the wording. The negligent part, that's almost going to get her. Maybe it's to get her off because she deserves it. Because, I mean, like, she's not negligent. If the only thing she's negligent of was reading the TOS.
Reading that contract for sure. Now, here's the thing: like anybody else that's operating in these vehicles, I would not take that job anymore.
I don't, dude. When in Vegas, there was 2 of them, like I told you.
Yeah, there's no way you could pay me.
And the one guy was talking about quitting. Like, I was only with these guys for a short time. He's like fixing a wheel with a pry bar.
Aaron, you might have showed up a little bit after, but Steve said that she claims that she was actually on the Uber tablet and her phone was in the passenger seat.
Yeah, she doesn't say I wasn't listening to the voice, or because that's been brought up against her. You were watching the voice, and she says, no, I wasn't watching it. It was sitting on the seat next to me. I was listening.
Which would be about the same as listening to a radio.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's such a bad look for Uber though, too. Like why isn't Uber like cover? Like why would, I know why, because she's an independent, they have to watch their butt, but it's almost proof that your stuff doesn't work. And you knew it. Like they knew there was a 1 in 10 chance, let's say, or whatever it is, that she might kill somebody tonight or be in an accident.
Well, like I said last night, why is their cars like in the Tesla? Tesla has all these features. If you're not looking at the road, if your hands go up too high, they're not on the steering wheel, the car starts beeping at you. Why is their cars not doing that? If they have a tester in there, that's the first thing that the cars check for.
Yeah. Also, why didn't the LiDAR work? Why didn't anything work? Why didn't it detect it? They really don't even ever talk about that. They're just like, she forgot to do her job. Well, the job was to ride in a car that knows how to drive itself safely.
Right. And that's what I'd want to know too, is like, and that's probably why they're going to throw out all the stuff about the car, because her lawyer wants to bring all that in.
Aaron, I don't think Uber's paying any of her legal fees.
Okay,
Tom just posted a link for us here. Tom, you want to explain this? You've probably been reading it for a second.
Yeah, so this is which I hadn't heard this. So last summer they offered her a deal and she turned it down. And so this is an article about that, and it gives an updated history of what happened with the accident and who said what when and that kind of stuff. So just kind of the whole story, if you will, for those who want to. But what's interesting here is they talk about the NTSB jumping in on all of this, and the NTSB is really where she got in trouble. The NTSB. That's the National Transportation Safety Board in 2019 determined the driver was mostly to blame for the crash. The NTSB found plenty of blame to go around, including Uber's lax safety culture. The pedestrian who was under the influence of meth. That's the first time I've heard that.
No, I have heard that too. We said it last night. I wasn't going to mention it, but she's been homeless.
Yeah, and the state of Arizona's lack of safety requirements for autonomous cars. The radar, cameras, and light detecting LiDAR on the vehicle detected Herzog, but the computer couldn't initially determine she was a pedestrian, an initial NTSB report said. Uber had disabled its emergency braking as well as the factory installed emergency braking systems to reduce the jerkiness of the rides. This is all... I find all this interesting, just kind of the whole story here.
Yeah. Her name's in that too, or it's in everything. But like, if you go to Uber or if you go to Rideshare Rodeo.com and you put in the search her name, you'll pull up every article I think that I've ever done on her.
Well,
all the way back.
Again,
so it's a nice little timeline.
Regardless of our feelings about this, and if I am a driver, truck driver, Uber driver, whatever kind of driver, I would be studying this very, very closely because, we're in a big argument right now on the trucking side about radical automated braking systems that don't work well at all. But they're going to force this perhaps across the board. And, so again, you're driving down the road and your truck slams on the brakes because it mistakes the post in a bridge that goes across the road as a car, or as one of our drivers last night or night before last was talking about. He went around a bend, a big bend in the road, and when he was looking at it, and I'm sorry people on radio can't see my hands, but as he looked at it, at first, even he thought, "Oh, there's a truck in the middle of the road up there," but no, it was there. He had to go around this bend, and when he did, then he realized, no, it's over on the side of the road. The truck couldn't figure it out and start slamming on its brakes, thinking it's going to hit a truck that's in the middle of the road. So he has to take back control of the truck, and would you do that, interestingly enough, how do you think you take back control of the truck with an automated braking system?
Turn it off.
Yell at it. Hey, truck.
You put your foot on the gas pedal.
Or that.
You have to increase speed, which I again, bizarre, but okay. The other thing that's going on now, too, is the FMCSA has put together a study to look at what kind of reaction time is required when you have a driver who's not driving. And again, this is for autonomous trucking. So you got a driver who's just sitting there, okay, or maybe playing on his phone or whatever he's doing. How much reaction time is required between the time that the computers and LiDAR and everything say, yeah, I don't know what's going on, you need to take over, and the time they can actually take over and safely control the vehicle into whatever, whatever it needs to be in? That's a great question.
Yeah. I think that it also is a slap to the whole autonomous thing of, look at, we have police officers trying to stop these cruise vehicles all the time in California, and then they're running away from them, evading. Okay, well, what if one evades and hits another cop that's standing in front while going through a light and kills him? I'm just putting out a scenario. Who is responsible for the officer's death?
Well, Granted, and we got to go to the top of the hour break here on the radio side. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Steve, thank you.
You guys,
Have a
I got to
great
go
show.
hang out with some Willie Nelson and Neil Young. So you guys have been fun, but I got to bounce, man. Can't leave
Yeah.
Willie and Neil hanging. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll see you next week.
Did you say Bud Soda was joining us?
Yeah, Bud Soda joined.
Oh.
No, he is. Wait, let me put up the number for him. Bud Soda, there you go.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Or join the stream link.
We'll be back in a little
All right,
bit
guys.
on TNCradio.live. All right, I'm out on the radio side for a few minutes.
Meet Joe. He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast, Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine if it should automatically accept the trip, decline the trip, or allow Joe to decide by showing the per mile and per minute rates. When a trip has been accepted, Maximo will turn off the other apps that aren't on a trip. Once Joe finishes a trip, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to reduce his stress and frustration, drive safe, and focus on the important tasks. Check out Maximo at www.maximoapp.com.
Going crazy. DJ, this a hit.
That's all right, but so I don't know what we're talking about half the time either. Sometimes we just throw stuff in there, continue on. But what we're currently talking about though is the driver being charged in the fatality of the Uber vehicle, autonomous. And then once Tom gets back, I don't know what we're going to talk about. He said he read all the articles. I have not. So I've read a couple from our show last night. It's all right if you don't want to, Bud Soda. It's okay. We'll manage. Me and Tom don't really need Steve. We just polite and allow Steve to join us. Numbers on the screen, though, 706-862-8620. Hey, Steve, yep. I'll see you in a couple weeks, Steve. Man, I got this stupid cough and I can't get rid of it. It's annoying. Got sinus pressure. Even went to the doctor, got some steroids and antibiotic. It's driving me nuts. Driving me nuts. I do, but I can't. You know why? I don't know why. I don't know what you're talking about. Deer and how tasty it is. Yeah, Butts out. I heard you hit a deer. Did you jack up your new car already? Seen Roy put out something calling you the deer killer. Let's see. Here's real talk with Roy. Yeah, this is deer beware. Did you see that? Serial deer killer in gig community. Sounds like a bag of chips, Tom.
Crackers. All that in a bag of chips. So I just went downstairs and found my wife watching the first installment of Keanu Reeves, the assassin.
John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick 1. Very proud of her.
Well, tell her once she finishes 3, you'll take her to see 4.
That's right.
Trying not to cough in your ear tonight.
And we all appreciate that.
Started getting this little raspy in my throat and whatever on Friday, and went to the doctor, got steroid antibiotics, still not gone.
All right. Will Levis finally picked up by the Titans.
Who?
Will Levis, quarterback of University of Kentucky. Yeah, may not be a football guy. Okay, here, hold on.
Apps.com is the destination for apps that helps gig workers be safer, more focused, and more proficient. The Maximo app, which is spelled Maxymo, it helps Uber, Lyft, and Grubhub drivers by automatically switching between apps and turning them on or off as needed. For example, if a driver accepts an Uber trip, Maximo will turn off all the other apps that are online, and when the trip is completed, it'll turn the apps back on for the driver. It will also auto-accept or decline offers based on the driver's personal preferences that they set directly in Maximo. Find out more at Gary's Apps, Garys apps.com for more information and download the apps you need today.
You did such a good job on recording that.
Welcome back in TNCradio.live on a Friday night. Oh, we're so glad it's Friday. TGIF, right? All? Are we happy that it's Friday night?
Well, I mean, I'm a gig worker.
He ran away after we convinced him that his home was the target of an Instagram robot, the Instacart robot, that was on the way to his house. So Steve ran away. We were just joking, Steve. There's no Instacart robot coming to your house, but it's too late now. He left, so that just leaves Gary and I. That would be his number one nightmare, wouldn't it?
Robot, any type of robot. I don't think he owns a Roomba.
Yeah, I think an Instacart robot though, that would be like the worst of everything.
What are they going to do though? What are they going to do? Shop and drop off groceries to him?
That's right. Yeah. They'll just keep bringing groceries to his house over and over again. Yeah. So you just heard about Gary's apps, and that's Gary. And Gary's with us pretty much every Friday night. We love having Gary with us. And Gary's written some pretty cool apps, including more recently. Tell us about your new app, Gary.
Oh, the Gig Wars app. Yeah, that's a competitive app for drivers to get together, have some local competition, and truly see who has the better markets. You know, you hear drivers all the time talk about, oh, my market's better, I make all this money. Well, you can go on the Gig Wars app and start a war and join other people's wars and see who actually does make the most. So.
And is that over like a set period of time? Can you adjust the time? How does that part work?
Yeah. You set all your parameters for the war. You go in there, you select what platforms you want on there. You set the time span, it can be anywhere from 1 day to 31 days. And you set all the rules and I guess regulations, whatever you want. And then people join your wars. And
And you could have whole teams of people, right? So I could like get together with Rideshare Lisa and 3 or 4 other people and take on you versus Bigfoot Killer and whoever else.
Yeah. There's no limitations at how many people can be in your war. If you want to do team versus team or individuals, it's however you want to do it.
Very cool. Speaking of Bigfoot Killer, he mentions that years ago he hit a deer in Cedar Pass, Utah, and totaled his truck. So in 2012, I bought my beloved burgundy Camaro. And it was one of those cars. I love this car so much, and it's got this reflective, almost like glitter stuff in the paint. And so when it's sunshiny and everything, the car looks like it's glowing. I mean, it's amazing. And I was the kind of guy who, I parked away from everybody else so my car would never get nicked.
Right.
It was always, and I washed it at least 2 or 3 times a week. And the car, to this day, I still have that car, though I got it in February and October of the year that I got it. I hit a deer. Now, he hit right in the driver's front tire, right there. She was running across the road. She put her head down, and I smashed her head. And, obviously it was very exciting, very, very, very scary. We all screamed, including the deer. Deer can make noise. Did you know that?
Yeah. When they get hit, yeah.
They make a noise. So she's flopping around in the middle of the street. She eventually got up and wandered off into the woods. There was some confusion. I didn't get any police or any help there for about 20 minutes, and I was on a blind spot in a corner, so it was really, really kind of scary. And then finally, got the car patched up and stuff. But all this time later, by the way, sometime in the next month, I'll put on the 65,000th mile in that car.
Wow.
So I've had the car since 2012, got it February 12th, 2012, and I will put the 1,000 mile in the car sometime in the next month or so. I've only filled it up with gas 3 times so far this year.
Well, the reason why they're talking about deers, you know who Bud Soda is.
Oh, yeah.
He actually hit 2 deers 2 days in a row.
Wow. Wow. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, and so that's everybody's teasing right now, calling him the deer killer.
He is the deer killer. Wow. What are the odds of that? That's amazing. So, yeah, I am always afraid now when driving at certain times of the day in certain areas here around Houston. I had a friend who I lost. He was driving over to a particular place where we'd see each other all the time for lunch on Wednesdays. And he's driving down Highway 3, a very busy area in the southeast area over by NASA. And he hit a deer. He was driving an SUV, he hit a deer. It flipped up into the car, kicked him in the head, killing him. And then he smashed into a light pole, and both he and the deer died. I mean, talk about just bizarre. I mean, they're one minute, gone the next. One of those, I guess, when God says it's time, and that was time. It was bizarre.
So I've never hit it.
It was 95, and to this day, I'm still like amazed by that.
See, I've never hit any animal. Now, whenever I was a truck driver, my co-driver, my brother, hit a buzzard, and it took out the whole front windshield of our semi.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, how do you hit a buzzard? But apparently it's a big old buzzard in the middle of the road, eating or whatever, and seen the truck and went to flap up, and he didn't brake in time, just smashed the whole front of that thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, my wife's hit a Roadrunner. You know what a Roadrunner is?
Oh, yeah.
She's hit one of those. Yeah.
Was she driving an Acme vehicle by any chance when she did it?
She was, actually.
I figured she might be.
Yeah. Acme Hot Shot.
Yeah. I thought she might be. Yeah.
Yeah, there she goes. She says she hit a Roadrunner in Haskell, Texas. Yeah, actually, I didn't even think about it either. You saying that she Acme? That's funny because she was in an Acme vehicle.
Are you being serious?
It's serious. Acme Truck Lines. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I didn't even think about it.
I was just I'm just thinking of Wile E. Coyote.
No, true. Yeah, we was both doing hot shots for a company, local company here called Acme Truck Lines, and so that's even funnier now.
Well, okay. So let's see. What are the other stories here that I wanted to talk about tonight? Let's see. We talked about that one. This Uber Eats stuff. I read through this and then kind of came to realize this isn't in America. This is some other country.
Which
one I'm talking about?
Which one are you talking about here?
Uber Eats riders are renting their jobs to illegal immigrants, allowing them to work without record checks. Well, while I believe that can happen and perhaps does happen in America, I don't believe this article was written by an American author because a whistleblower journalist told the journalist that illegal immigrants are coming from France, Belgium, and Italy in lorries and renting other people's accounts. Well, so yeah, that's not, nobody from France is driving over here in a truck. I assume this is in England.
Well, I don't know about Uber Eats, but I know with DoorDash you can rent out your accounts. Oh, I wonder if you can do the same with Uber Eats.
What do you mean you can rent out your accounts?
Yeah, in DoorDash, in your DoorDash terms of service for a driver. Hold on one second. It states that as long as you do the background check on the person that you want to work your account and they can pass the background check that's required by DoorDash themselves, that you can actually rent your account out to them.
Legally.
Yeah, legally. You do not have to be the one working your account. You just have to give them a 7-day notice. I think it's 7 or 14-day notice, run all the appropriate backgrounds, and then they can actually work your account. And then, you get paid and you pay them. It kind of defeated the purpose. But if they can, why you would ever do that? But
right. Well, that's my question: is why would I do? If the person can get the account, then why not just say go get your account?
Right. That's what I've always thought too. But I don't know.
Unless you're like renting the whole thing, that you get the car, everything for X number of dollars.
Right.
This one they're talking about. Let's see. What did I just do with that? So this is obviously England because in one Portuguese language group called Rent Account Uber / Deliveroo, a writer advertised a motorbike courier job at £70 for Uber and £60 for Deliveroo. That's, as in the money there.
Deliveroo is another food delivery service.
Right. But my question is, well, why? Why? Okay, first of all, why would I pay £70? Look at the profit. If you're paying £70 before you even get started, how do you make profit on that?
And why would you? Yeah, why would you if you could just get your own account?
Maybe if you don't have a car at all, but still, how can you make money on? Drive my car. Deliver all you want. I'm gonna get paid, but I'm not gonna give you everything I get paid. So I get money from sitting at home. Okay, I can see why I would want to do it. I'm just not sure why somebody would want to rent it from me.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of is they can't pass the background checks. But then even at that, it wouldn't be allowed.
I'm just looking at Drone Days. Hit 2, the third one's free. That's good. That's good. That's funny.
And a bus out, you're going to go get some deer tags, man.
Yeah, really. Yeah, got some people that have you ever listened to Joe Deere?
No, I can't say I have.
Okay. If you are offended by bad language, don't listen to this. But at some point, those of you who want a great laugh, go listen to Joe Deere. Just do a search, Google or whatever, Joeder, and it's a guy named Joe who's called 911 because he's hit a deer, and there appears to be a disagreement as to what should happen to the deer next.
Oh yeah, Joe versus Deer 911 call.
Yeah. You can't play that.
No, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Everybody else can.
Rated very R.
Yeah, you can go listen to it if you want.
Yeah, rated very R. It's worth a good laugh if you're not easily offended. Let's see. So that was an interesting story. Now we talked about all the SUVs that stopped the other day. Still looking for what's going to happen next with the Senate confirmation hearings of Acting Secretary Sue for the employment job. I'm hearing from people that this is not a done deal, that the U.S. Labor Department may not see her as the next lead. I wanted to talk to Steve about this before he left, because he kind of last week said basically he was giving up, that he felt like it was a done deal. Apparently not. And strangely enough, the person who I was talking to earlier today said that the governor of West Virginia has decided to run for Senate, and he's going to go up against Mitchen. How do you say his name? You know what I'm talking about?
I do not. I'm trying to find it now.
Okay, so Mitchen is the swing senator right now. Okay, he's a Democrat who often votes with the Republicans, and he's had some pretty negative things to say about potential Secretary Sue taking over the Labor Department. And the thought is that now the governor of West Virginia, who is a staple of West Virginia politics, and Manchin, who is also a staple of West Virginia politics, that he is going to have to come hard right on a couple of things, being a Democrat, and that this would be one of them, that he would not be able to support her if he's going to win his reelection against the current governor of West Virginia. I thought it was a very interesting take on it. I don't know enough about West Virginia politics to say that that's 100% accurate, but that was the way it was described to me.
Okay, Steve just chimed in. He said he's listening from the car, which means he could have just called in. He said, that's not what I said. I said Democrats were lining up against Sue. No Julie Sue equals good for you.
Okay. I think there's a better than 50-50 chance that she will not be confirmed. And apparently there was somebody else who was in the U.S. Labor Department that also had an appointed job that had to be confirmed by the Senate. And because of his, and he was already in the job. He'd been in the job during the Obama administration. And so Biden looked to put him in the same job again. And he got voted down by the Democrats for having extreme positions. And she's much more extreme than he is. So that was the other reason I was given as to why she would not be confirmed. We need her to not be confirmed. It's going to be bad for all of us.
Yeah, I'm kind of reading quickly here over it all real quick. It looks like she's currently trying to defend her handling of the unemployment fraud and things of that nature that happened out there in California during the pandemic. And then, of course, the Republicans are pressing her on her previous labor stances. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana expressed concerns about her AB 5, California law, things of that nature. And then about her public comments, in support of new joint employer rules, which impact 800,000 franchises in the communities. So it looks like she's trying to defend herself, but she's not doing a very good job of it.
Right. So, yeah. Well, we'll know next week. By this time next week, it'll be over one way or the other. And so that'll be a discussion that we will pick up on more next Friday here on Driver Nation. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCradio.live. Stay right there.
Oh, Steve can always listen in. We'll talk bad about him. We don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, if we know he's listening in, we'll talk more bad about him.
Yeah.
Okay, when we come back, I want to talk about the Lyft management job cuts.
The which one?
Lyft management job cuts.
Lyft management job cuts. Where's that at on here?
Tech layoffs. Uber rival Lyft fires 26% of employees in second round of job cuts.
That's on his blog?
Yeah, it came out today.
Okay, yeah. Second round right here. Tech layoffs, 26%. Okay. Steve says, "Oh, that felt like a hug."
All right, back in 30 seconds.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to know anything about the NFL draft or whatever, let us know. I'm keeping one eye on that. We did 3 hours live during the NFL draft last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was hard. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCradio.live on a Friday night. I'm Tom Kelly along with Gary from Gary's app and Steve from Rideshare Rodeo. Steve, how are you doing? Oh, no, Steve. Steve had to take off, jump on a plane because he's going to go hang out with Willie Nelson and a bunch of other great stars for the rest of the weekend. Poor Steve.
I know, rough life, right? Rough life.
I mean, they're charging thousands and thousands of dollars for these great tickets to watch this concert. And Steve actually gets paid to be there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did he tell you why he had to get paid to be there?
No.
Well, apparently, and Steve, you can type in the chat if I say this a little bit incorrectly, but they have a laser guy out there in California, but because of the whole Prop 22 stuff, he can only do like 3 or 4 shows a year.
Oh.
And so he can't work these events.
The AB5, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so instead of having local people do the event, they have to fly people in from other states to do this event.
Crazy.
Yeah. So more jobs cut.
Yeah. My take on Julie's confirmation is it all depends on what Manchin does. Cinema in Arizona is now an independent and has not voiced support for Julie's confirmation. We will all know on Wednesday. Yep, that's what I was saying. Well, it'll all be over this time next week. I think Manchin is in a position now where he's going to have to go hard right on a lot of the different things if he wants to win his reelection. So we'll see where that goes. He would be in a very tough position if he was to vote for her and still come across as the voice of reason in the Senate, where he's a conservative Democrat. You cannot be a conservative anything and vote for Sue. You just can't. That's not a political opinion. That's just kind of the way it works. So if he wants to keep being the quote unquote conservative Democrat, he's going to have to figure out either how not to vote I'm sorry, I was in the restroom. I missed the whole thing. Doggone it. Or he's going to have to vote to not allow her to move forward in the process. So we'll see what happens with that one. Okay, over at Lyft, it looks like I'm going to lose my gentleman's bet that Lyft would be gone by July 1st. They're still around, and they're not dead yet. However, they've announced that they're laying off 26%, or around 1,000 employees, almost 1,100 employees, in a series of cost-cutting measures taken by their new CEO, David Risher. Last week, Risher previously stated that the company would significantly cut jobs without giving specific numbers. Lyft will also eliminate more than 250 open positions and incur a cost of $41 million and $47 million for severance and employee benefits in the second quarter. Lyft will also remove 3 layers of management, going from 8 to 5. For those of you who are not familiar with, most companies are structured that there are 8 levels of management. The CEO is 1 level, and the janitor is level 8. Okay, so everything falls in between that. Most companies are at 8. Many companies in the last few years have redone their whole approach and gone down to 5. Many of which have then gone back to 8 again. And we could have a whole classroom discussion about layers of management in large corporations and all that kind of stuff. Regardless, Lyft, if they're going to remove 3 levels of management, they can't do that without affecting operations. They will hurt operations. That's what Amazon has done, and obviously Amazon operations have been impacted. AWS has been impacted. Across the board, Amazon, while they came out stronger than expected in their announcement this week as far as their profitability, they're still, and the people who are inside Amazon, who I'm close to, basically it feels like mass chaos in there right now. Everything that used to flow easily within Amazon, as far as communication, as far as your understanding of your place in the company, as far as there are a lot of good reasons to work for Amazon that aren't there right now. And a lot of people pretty frustrated about it who are working there. So if anybody out there is an Amazon employee, wants to discuss more on that, that would be great. The savings from job cuts, this is back over to Lyft, will be used to support quote-unquote service level improvements for riders and drivers, according to Lyft. Again, this makes no sense to me. How are you going to cut out the people who are responsible for doing service improvements and then improve your service?
Right. That's what I was going to say too. Like, it makes no sense to me that they even put that in there. Like, you're losing, how many jobs did they say? 1,000?
Yeah. 1,072.
Yeah, 1,072.
Plus the 250 open positions.
Right. So you got
250 people are either already gone or they were planning on getting or whatever. So you're going to wipe out 1,300 positions.
Yeah. And then say we're going to be better about doing what we're already not doing.
Right.
Because we were understaffed.
Right. Yeah. That was, why is your service level so bad? Well, because we can't afford to add new employees right now, and it's an employee issue, and can't get the right people in. Okay, well, they talk out of both sides, and it makes no sense there.
I don't know. I just think they're trying to get somebody to buy the company at this point. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to show some type of profitability and then have somebody buy the company. Because, I mean, that's the only reason I can think of why would you change out the founders 2 for 1? It makes no sense. Because both of the founders went away, and then they brought in this one CEO.
Right.
And from what I read, it's not like he's a Dara. He wasn't a famous CEO from another company that built it from the ground up, made it millions and billions of dollars.
Sure. Yeah, it's I don't know. I still think their time is very limited. If they don't get bought by somebody, I just don't see how they carry on.
If not bought, merged, or something, they have to do something.
Right, something.
Yeah,
and
cutting jobs ain't going to help them. They've been cutting jobs for the last 3 years.
No company in history have ever cut their way to profitability.
Nope.
Okay, no company. Okay, we cut enough people. Now we're all right. Excuse me. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and another thing that I just pulled up real quick says Lyft is asking employees to come to their office more regularly. After you cut all these jobs, now everybody else, hey, we need you to come in more. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, totally crazy. So let's see. Uber driver. Let's see what I'm looking for here. I am looking for this one. DoorDash driver shares PSA to customers who live in apartments.
Oh yeah, that's that geofencing with the drop of a pin.
Yeah. So tell us about that one.
I was briefly reading it. Plenty of DoorDash drivers have expressed their disdain for delivering to apartments. In fact, on TikTok, one viral video exposed a worker caught eating a customer's order because he supposedly could not find her unit. So it says, what's the source of all the apartment rage? There are plenty of reasons why people don't like delivering to multi-unit dwellings. Could be frustrated food delivery workers, especially if those take more time to complete. And I know we've all probably delivered to apartments. Some of them are bad numbered. Some,
This is why I won't do DoorDash. This is why I won't do Uber Eats. I hate picking up at apartments just because of this. When you pull into, and some of the apartments, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Some of these apartment complexes down here, they're like miniature cities.
Right. And some of them
even have like a stop and go or 7-Eleven kind of thing in the middle of them.
Yeah. And some of them are hard to get into. A lot of people forget to put their gate codes. They don't put and since we don't actually have a last name, which is how you find them through the buzzer. So then we got to try and call them. We can't get a hold of them.
Right.
And then once we do get in, you would think that apartment labeled 1000 would be either building 1 or building 10. Sometimes it's not.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, or they say, head on back to the southeast corner. I'm in building 8.
Right.
This is not helpful to me because none of the buildings are listed. Okay. Southeast corner. Well, let me see. My car right now says I'm facing north and I'm just pulling into the apartment complex. So the southeast corner would be what, to my right?
And behind me?
But it can't be behind me because the road is behind me.
Right.
What are you talking about? Okay. And then on top of that, now, as a delivery person, I'm not going to walk up 4 flights of stairs to give you your hamburger.
Right. And that's what people are saying here is whenever you order from apartment complexes, don't put your main address. Because whenever you do, if you drop the pin outside your building, it's more likely that the GPS is going to route us to right outside your building compared to the main address. So that's what they're doing in this. They're saying, I don't want to be out here in the dark searching for building 42300A. I host a true crime podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it goes on to say, while I'm out here stumbling around with your food, I have already imagined all 372 ways I'm about to get murdered.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
And the sad thing is that actually happened.
It does happen.
Like recently, that guy that got pulled in. I know we didn't talk about it a lot at the beginning of the show, but that Uber driver did his last delivery and got pulled into an apartment and got cut up.
It's crazy. Okay. We've lost Steve. I wanted to talk to him about this tonight because this happened in his backyard. Have you been tracking at all about the Colorado woman killed by these idiots throwing rocks out of their cars?
I have not.
Okay, so the 3 Colorado teenagers charged with murder in a series of rock attacks on vehicles across Jefferson and Boulder counties that left 20-year-old Alex Bartell dead last week. Apparently, they even took a photo of her damaged vehicle as a memento. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday identified the 3 18-year-old suspects as Joseph, Mitch, and Zach. I'm not going to give you their names. All of Arvada, Colorado. The 3 friends made plans to meet up, and after driving around town for a while, they decided to stop at Walmart and began picking up landscaping rocks from the edge of the store's parking lot and loading them into their pickup truck, according to an arrest affidavit. A teenage witness saw the 3 suspects loading the rocks before the alleged incidents, and then they thought it would be just hilariously funny to throw these rocks out of the back of the pickup truck and into the windshield of unsuspecting drivers. This also included, let me see if they have this in this article, it included a rideshare driver. I think he was an Uber driver, but I don't remember for sure, who didn't die, didn't get killed, but they did manage to kill this woman, and they're being charged with first-degree murder because this was not just stupid, this was evil. And when you bother to throw rocks through people's cars, windshields, and they die, that's murder. That's not an accident.
Right. That's intentional.
Yeah, but they thought this was funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kids thought eating Tide Pods was funny too. I mean, kids now are just dumb. Like, so
at first they said that only one of the guys was throwing rocks, and then they admitted that all 3 of them threw rocks, and you know that they all did this. Between 10 p.m. and midnight on both April 19th and April 20th. So this is just a little over a week ago. The suspects threw rocks at 5 different cars, injuring multiple drivers and killing Bartell.
So they're on. I'm assuming they're on an overpass. Is that what you said?
No, they're throwing this out of their moving car.
Oh, they're driving down the road, throwing it at other car. Oh,
yes.
Seriously. What's wrong with people?
A friend of the family, I don't remember her. My parents told me that we were close when I was a little kid. I just don't remember them. But they were in Chattanooga on I-24. There's this huge bridge that's way, way, way up there. And somebody dropped a bowling ball out of the top of that place and killed him. He killed the woman, the passenger.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Like, I mean, what are they? I want to know what they're thinking when they do this stupid stuff. Like, I've never been driving in the road, even as a kid, and thought, oh, let me throw stuff at other cars. Or let me stand in an overpass and drop stuff off to see if it'll damage somebody's car. Like, that wasn't even a thought to me.
I never would have considered it.
Yeah. I mean, like Dash and Grandpa says here, he goes, many years ago, kids would shoot out the clearance lights on trucks from overpasses. This was back in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I've never been into personal damage, destruction, things like that. I know I got a brain, I guess.
Well, the whole thing is just sick and sad. And like I said, the only reason I bring it up really for this group, well, 2 reasons. One is, you know, we're all out there on the road all the time. Use caution, you know, because there are just idiots out there. So you got to be careful all the time. And as I mentioned, at least one of the 5 vehicles that was hit was driven by a rideshare driver who he was pretty upset, of course, that he got hit by a rock, but it really hit him. I won't tell you what he said. Anyway, he was pretty upset when he heard that somebody had actually died from it. I mean, it was pretty inconvenient for him, but when he heard that somebody had actually died from it, he was
probably disgusted.
He tossed his cookies. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he's probably disgusted.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take our final break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We're going to break on the radio side. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCradio.live on a Friday night. It's Driver Nation. Stay right there. Okay, that was kind of a sad story. Let's find something funny to wrap up the evening.
There's a lot of sad stories this week.
Yeah, I don't want to finish on that. That's too much. Come on, Steve, have something funny out there for us, bud. Oh, I know what we can do. We'll give away $1,000. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet tonight.
I know you probably didn't hear last night, but my son see my little son's Navy thing behind me here? That means that he is actually going to graduate Navy boot camp in 7 days.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very proud of him.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Going to Chicago. So I won't be here next Friday, unfortunately. I'll be watching him graduate and get to hang out with him and all that stuff.
Well, you can live stream in for that.
I think I'm going to spend time with my son.
Now, if you want to be that way, Gary, okay. Yeah.
I know, right?
I don't know.
Selfish.
Yeah, but, you know. If you're going to be like that, just be like that. That's fine.
I Googled positive rideshare stories and it says how Uber left Lyft in the dust.
I'm positive that's true.
Yeah, it says Uber now has 74% of the rideshare market.
Wow. How can you stay in business like that? I just don't see how you can.
We won't know at all.
Okay. All right. Let's see. 2 minutes before we come back.
Steve, you really got to start getting more positive stories on this thing, man.
And I tell you what, I'm going to play one of our promos here too, because it applies to, I checked it out and it applies to my audience on this show as well. So
nice, Jerry. Yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he passed.
You never had any doubt though, did you?
No, I mean, I knew once we got him there that he'd do what he needs to do.
Yeah. All right. Coming in 5 seconds, going to play one thing here for y'all.
Okay.
Live. Hi, I'm Shelley Shelton with TNCradio.live. You know me for the Truckers Network radio show and Women Road Warriors that I co-host with Kathy Tuccaro. We know that life as a driver is not easy. Do you believe in the power of prayer? Whether you're moving down the highway or taking a break, you can take a moment right now to tell God about your hopes, concerns, and gratitude. Do you want someone to pray with? No problem. Just call the TFC Global 24-hour prayer line. It's 866-515-9406. That's 866-515-9406. Or if you're using the TNCradio.live app, just press the prayer line button to be connected to a prayer warrior who will confidentially pray with you and for you. Thank you, and God bless.
So that's something that y'all can take advantage of too. That's something that's on your mind. May is Mental Health Month. Hold on a second. Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCradio.live. We were just talking a little bit about that prayer line, which is open to all of our drivers, whether you're a trucker or a rideshare driver or a delivery driver. Feel free to take advantage of that. May is Mental Health Month, and we'll talk more about that as the month goes on. But, there are resources available to you, and resources that are available via the station, resources that are available via Steve's website. And, we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to have their needs met. And, if you're struggling with something, there are people who are right there who want to help, who are trained to help and willing to help. Also, be aware, too, if you don't already know this, starting this time last year, a little bit later than this last year, it's been out there for a while now, if you are feeling very anxious and perhaps even know of somebody who you think perhaps is suicidal, or you yourself are feeling anxious about things, 988 is now nationwide. It's like calling 911. Only 988 gives you the opportunity to talk to somebody who, again, is well-trained and can help you through a particular moment. So 988 is available to you if you're in a bad place and you need to talk to somebody. They'll get you to the right place. All right, with that, let's do this. Let me get over to the right screen here, and that means it's time to give away $1,000 in our $1,000 daily driver giveaway. All you have to do is go to TNCradio.live. You can use the website or use the app. Go to the contest page. It's well marked. Go to the contest page, and Gary, if you could pull that and share that in the YouTube, I'd appreciate that.
Already did.
Okay, great. Go out there and put in these 4 keywords. Now, you got to put in each one separately, and each one will be a different entry. And on Monday around noon, they're going to pull a name and call that person. And if they don't answer, they go to the next name and so forth. And they give away $1,000 to the first person who answers. And then we do it all over again. So we actually give away $2,000 each day. This is part of the relationship we have with the Independent Broadcaster Association through TNCradio.live. Here is your chance now. I will give you all 4 keywords back to back. First keyword, clay. Clay, C-L-A-Y, clay. Second keyword, shine. Shine, S-H-I-N-E, shine. Like earlier, Steve was, had that shine around him. And then, I'm sorry, I'm trying. And then the next keyword is bang. Bang, B-A-N-G, bang.
Like Steve left with a bang to go to the airport.
That's right. Or if you want to, you could bang on Steve for not being here. And then finally, the last and final keyword, cloud. Cloud, C-L-O-U-D, cloud. I will have 4 keywords for you next week as we wrap up this particular contest. You can listen throughout the day, Monday through Friday. and Clay, Shine, Bang, Cloud. Those are the words. Clay, Shine, Bang, Cloud. You go ahead and put those words in. We'll have 4 more next week. That'll be the end of this particular contest. We'll take a month or 2 off, and then we'll start it all over again, because that's what we do. We like to give away money. It's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't say Steve was going to be as high as a cloud.
I was really trying not to go. I had something for Bang, and I decided not to go there. So yeah, Steve will be high as a cloud. Cloud, CLOUD, cloud. So all right, so that's what we've had going on. Let's talk a little bit about Steve. With him not being here, he does have the Rideshare Rodeo right here on TNCradio.live. Comes on right after this program. You can catch 2 hours of Rideshare Rodeo, and check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're not used to, who is Steve? What is he doing? Stay on this channel and check him out. I think you'll really enjoy what he does, and catch some of his podcast. And then from there, you can learn a lot more about listening to Steve. And then we've also, he's also, of course, got different things. We didn't get a chance to talk to him about what he's got going on this week. Do you know, Gary, of anything particular?
This week, I know he's going to have his 13 minutes of news like normal tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then as far as I know, then it's the Willie Nelson concert, which is, I believe that's Sunday, Monday.
Saturday,
Sunday.
He flies back on Monday.
Okay, then he flies back on Monday. He'll have his last mile on Wednesday that he does on YouTube. And then, of course, next Thursday, Friday, he'll have the roundtable on Thursday, Driver Nation on Friday. And, of course, don't forget about RideshareRodeo.com, where he posts all his blogs and news and things like that for drivers to keep up to date on stuff.
You betcha. And we've got the Truckers Network channel, TNCradio.live. We're on 24 hours a day. You do not have to be a trucker to appreciate a lot of the program. For instance, Gary, tomorrow morning, on a Saturday morning, people like to talk about going fishing, working on their cars, playing golf. So we have a show about going fishing, a couple of shows about working on your car, a show about playing golf. So they are all back to back to back on Saturday mornings. We'll be talking about the draft for a little while, late in the morning Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon, tune in for Radio Law Talk. It's a great show with a couple of lawyers who take on things like AB5 and other issues and talk about the legal implications of those types of things. It's really a fun show. It doesn't sound fun. Trust me, you got to check it out. It's worth listening to. Sunday mornings, sometimes you're having to drive to make your bucks, or maybe you're working for a company and they're making you drive because you're the new guy on the totem pole or whatever, but you wish you could be at church. So Sunday mornings, we have Truckers Church, and it's just what it sounds like. Do a lot of music, Bible studies, those kinds of things. So if you're wishing you could be at church, but you can't, we got Truckers Church on Sunday mornings. Then on Monday, we start the whole process over again, starting early Monday morning. Actually at midnight, we got Steve Summers Overnight Drive. That leads us into the morning grind starting at 8 a.m. Central Time. We catch you up on the weather and traffic, which, by the way, through Texas today. And if you're driving out on I-40, I-20, I-35, I-10, all going to be problem spots tonight. Also have issues up on I-95 through the Northeast corridor. So pay attention there. I'm especially worried about the potential of hail of some of these storms moving through East Texas, up around Tyler, down into the Shreveport area in Louisiana. So be very cautious if you're out driving tonight. And we keep up with all of the traffic and weather and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to tune us in for that. Then Monday nights, we have ongoing programming that, again, are not restricted to trucking. And I think you'll enjoy those. Tuesday nights, all of our shows are hosted by women. So Tuesday nights are ladies' night here at TNCradio.live. Wednesday nights, our shows are all live as we talk about stories from the road and even take on sports for those people who are out driving and just don't really have a lot of time to catch up on sports. We try to get everybody caught up at least once a week on what's going on in the world of sports. So lots of stuff happening on TNCradio.live. That's pretty much it, Gary. Last words from you.
Everybody have a great and safe weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for listening in. We know you have choices. We know you have choices out there in YouTube land, and we appreciate you jumping in and being part of our show and giving us your input. And we look forward to seeing you back here again next week, again on TNCradio.live.